So for months and months, oh gosh, I'm even going to say well over a year, I sat here doing new Victoria Beckham beauty release after new Victoria Beckham beauty release after new, you get the idea. And I kept saying, what's happening with her eye bricks? You guys remember the eye brick. I'm like, are they redoing them? What's happening? Yeah, they redid them. So they're now called the eye wardrobe. Bye-bye eye brick. Remember, they blew these out a while back. Now, I have to tell you guys, I have been reviewing Victoria Beckham Beauty since the very first release. When she did her collab forever ago, I was a huge fan. I have always been a fan. I pretty much own every single product she's ever made, and I sometimes work with them, with the brand too. But this is all purchased by me. Today, we're going to look at 3 out of the 4 eye wardrobes, the new product from Victoria Beckham Beauty. We're going to demo them. We're going to talk about the Satin Kajal liners they go with. We're going to talk about how they relate to the Lid Lustres. We are busy little bees over here with me, Rebecca. This is not fit for print beauty. I am a fashion and beauty journalist who has worked for well over 20 years with some of the biggest names in fashion and beauty. I've written for them, interviewed them, ghostwritten for them, written books for them even, and website stuff, all sorts of things. But I started Not Fit for Print Beauty so you could have a sort of digital live beauty magazine to look through every day or so here on YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I gave you the basics. Here was my favorite eye brick, actually, called Silk, okay? There were no dividers. I actually liked that the shades kind of went into one another. They were really creamy. They were really gentle. They were really light. I have every single one of them. There were 4 or 5 or more of them. I don't know. I have them all. They're a little slim tortoise case. Beautiful. The thing, though, about makeup brands is they're just like you and me. They have to update too. You know, like you might have a pair of jeans in your closet that are still fit great and are really comfy, but you wear them out and your kids are like, oh my God, what are they, 2010 called and wants their jeans back or whatever. They have to keep up with the times too. They are, after all, a kind of fashionable trend product. And to keep up with the Joneses now in terms of makeup is to make things refillable, talc-free. Victoria Beckham Beauty has always been clean and it's always been cruelty-free, so that's no change for them. But, they kind of needed to update. And a lot of people didn't like the shades flowed into one another and that they were kind of satiny shades, but she always used to save her sparkle shades for the Lid Lustres. So here's what we're seeing happen now. And these Lid Lustres have been great for Victoria Beckham Beauty. What we're seeing now is the reinvention of the eye brick. As I said, now it's called the eye wardrobe. We have tortoiseshell cases, a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker. Here's the original case right here that I'm shaking up and down. And here's the new one. These are thicker because they are refillable, but still we have that Victoria Beckham Beauty tortoise. We still have a mirror inside. And when you pop in, you can get a little pin under there and pop them out. But you still have 4 shades, but now we have dividers. And now we have each one has kind of a Lid Lustre shade in there. Okay, so we have these really soft and creamy mattes. These are very, very highly pigmented, as you can see by my eye looks here. And I'll tell you right now, I picked up for us to look at the olive. I picked up the shade called Victoria. And I picked up the one called Nightflash, which I think I actually need to pop this out and turn it around. I think it's really supposed to be like that. You get the idea. Use your imagination. Okay, now each one of these goes with a iconic Satin Kajal liner. I didn't pick up the blue. I have the blue shade, and I have the blue eyeliners, and I have the blue shade from her original eye bricks. Never wear it. You guys, I'm not begging for compliments here. I get it. I just don't look good in like a matte dark blue. I'm just not, it's not my skin tone, not my hair tone. It doesn't work. It doesn't do you any favors to see it. I'm purchasing all this. I do often work with the brand and the brand often sends me products, but I did purchase these. So, I skipped it. I'm not going to do you any favors. So I am sorry I don't have the blue, but I have everything else and the eye pencils to go with it. Olive, of course, goes with the Satin Kajal olive shade. I'll swatch them together. Nightflash with the Nightflash shade. The only one that doesn't really, Victoria goes with cinnamon. Cinnamon was an interesting release of a Satin Kajal liner too. It was an interesting, kind of was available without being advertised. It was a weird one. But anyway, okay. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to try all of them on. I'm really excited to share this with you today. And I want to look at it with some of the Lid Lustres too. The first thing I want to do though, right away, let's take these outside into the warm California sunshine. Let me tell you what you're going to be looking at. You'll see all 4 shades swatched, and then the squiggly line next to it will be the Satin Kajal liner that it's intended to go with. Intended. You don't have to follow the rules. Intended. So let's take this outside and let's take a look. We have up top the Victoria kind of quad in the eye wardrobe, and that is cinnamon swatch next to it. And then underneath it, we have the Nightflash, and that is of course the shade Nightflash swatch next to it. And then we have the olive shade that's on my eyes right now with the olive pencil swatched next to it. Like I said, these kind of have what we would normally have used the Lid Lustre for within the palette. For instance, here is the Lid Lustre in velvet, okay? This is kind of a golden Lid Lustre. And here is the kind of gold shade in olive. Let's just do a little comparison here. Here's our Lid Lustre shade. Doesn't like nails too much, but there's our Lid Lustre. I just grabbed a gold one. There's a few gold ones I suppose I could have grabbed. And I do swatches over on Instagram. So there it is, nice and pigmented. And here is, okay, that is velvet. And here is the kind of gold. This is going to be a little lighter. I probably shouldn't have pulled out velvet. It's probably a little darker than the one. You know, there's a few other shades that are kind of gold. Nothing, well, is there anything exactly this golden? No, it's almost like a nude Lid Lustre. So Lid Lustre, and here's the shade that's kind of the Lid Lustre type shade out of the olive palette. And I know here, I pulled out Onyx. If anyone has this Onyx Lid Lustre, I thought we could look at that. Okay, put that on. There's Onyx, really deep, right? And here is our Nightflash. Here's the kind of similar Lid Lustre shade there. That's kind of close. But I think actually, funnily enough, I think this is a little bit more exactly like the Nightflash shade that you saw it swatched with outside, more than it is the Lid Lustre, but they're similar in the way they apply and in the deepness. Covered with this stuff now. I'll go wash up, but I just kind of wanted to show you that that's a similar intensity in that color. Now, in terms of pricing, there was a little bit of a snafu. At first, these were a day or so before they were released on the Neiman Marcus website, and it was like crazy. It was like you could only buy the empty case, and it was like $75. And then you could only buy the refills, and it didn't come with the case. And people were like, it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Something was weird there. I don't know if they fixed it. You guys can tell me below. I can go check. But then they came out on the Victoria Beckham Beauty website, and it was like $75 with case, $50 for just a refill. And you know, I always talk about the Cheapies Club. If you want to just buy a refill, they do come in this plastic case that you can keep them in. Safe. Not incredibly safe, not very chic. I'm just saying. But anyway, I ordered this olive with the case, and so it was $75. And then I ordered the rest just as refills, so they were $50, but then they gave me cases with them. And I do tend to work with the brand, but trust me, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. I was using a personal email, not my work email. So I got to figure that out. Because each of these should have been $75 because they were with a case. And this one was, but these were $50, and then they had the case on there and didn't charge me. The math isn't mathing, and I'm very confused. I wasn't trying to steal from the brand. I was trying to be very honest. So I'm not quite sure what happened. And then there was the crazy Neiman Marcus pricing. It almost looks like there was a little bit of a snafu. Do you know what I mean? Talk to me about how yours was. I'm sure I'll have this figured out. I can pin a comment after the video is out. I'm sure we'll figure it all out. Probably just some weird thing at the start of it. But at any rate, I'm really excited to show them to you. They're really, really deep. There's a lot going on here on my little eyelids, but we're going to demonstrate all of them, and I'm going to tell you some of my thoughts about them too, because I've already filmed it. So I'm a mess. I'm going to go clean up here, and I want you to see the demos. Make sure you're subbed, okay? Make sure you subscribe. Okay. One time not so long ago, I really wanted to give, and it was Victoria Beckham products, a real full suite. I put the eyeliner on. I did inside the lids. I did out. You know, I tight lined everything, and then took it all off, scrubbed it all off, and then did the next color. I got an eye infection. I have never done that since. All of that is a way to explain. There's timestamps. Don't worry. All of that is a way to explain why I'm not going to be doing full eye effects with all three of these. We'll give that to the olive one. We'll do that. But I'm just going to do a quick demo of Victoria on this eye and Nightflash on this eye. And then we'll kind of do olive with the olive pencil and all that. Okay, so Victoria is, again, this one right here. And it does go with the cinnamon shade, which is kind of interesting to me. Let's do a look with this here. It's kind of interesting to me because she's saying that she paired these with iconic shades from her Satin Kajal liners. And I think cinnamon, ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? I think cinnamon actually is really an iconic shade. Let's go into this one here. This is a Sonia G brushes I'm using. I do think that cinnamon is a very iconic shade. However, this shade again, cinnamon was one of those weird shades that was like released. You could have purchased it, but they didn't advertise it yet. It kind of hung out there for a while. So I was like, okay, yeah, cinnamon is iconic in my thinking too, but the brand kind of released it almost like an afterthought. Do you remember when cinnamon was released? Same brush here from Sonia G. Why Make Brush Laundry? And I'm just going into this deepest, darkest. This would be just beautiful with cinnamon, wouldn't it? Okay. And let me just show you kind of just the way these line up on the eyes. This does need the cinnamon, and I'll put it on there. And this gorgeous shade here, which a lot of people, we really thought this would be kind of exactly like the Lid Lustres, and it is, but it's got more opacity and less sparkle than the Lid Lustres, a little bit. There's definitely enough sparkle. I'm just kind of putting that across. This is very dramatic, but very Victoria Beckham. Let me take cinnamon here. I don't know that this is necessarily a tutorial here, guys. I just kind of want to show you what the shades look like. I'm not sure if I were sitting here and really concentrating, if this is necessarily the way I'd put it together, but here's kind of the way the shades kind of layer on the eye. And here is the cinnamon pencil, which I would normally do in waterline and tight line, but just to kind of give you an idea, I'm just going to kind of pair it there just on the lid in case you want to purchase these together. Because remember, and you could do like a little wing. Okay, not necessarily the look I would put together, but I do think it's very, very pretty. Now, how about if we do kind of a quick look here with Nightflash, which goes with the Nightflash liner. Now, I need to take a little clip and put it under to get this out because I do believe that this should be sitting reverse. I got excited and put it in the wrong way, so it really should be sitting like that. Forgive me. I'll flip that around, or I never will. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead. Why do they give you a larger pan here? Of course, they assume that's the shade you're going to use the most of, and I kind of follow their guidance on that, and I tend to use the bigger shade a little bit more because I can see that is the intention. You don't have to. It's just makeup. There's no rules. But isn't that pretty? Now, as you guys know, I did not buy the blue shade. This is a Sonia G Sky Brush, by the way. I did not buy the blue shades for a number of reasons. Number one, I didn't want to purchase all of these. I mean, my gosh, we've got the Charlotte Tilbury, what are they, $60 9 pans coming, and there's a bunch of those. You know, I can't purchase everything. And also, I'm not going to do any favors for myself, for you, for the brand even to look at, because I don't look good in blue. I just don't. I'm not fishing for compliments. I just not my colors. Okay, there's the dark shade there. I don't know what to do. I got this light white shade. This is a kind of intriguing here. Let's take this light white shade and just put this kind of on the this part of the eye and inside. Let's do that. Almost like a highlight shade. But we also have this shade here, which is really, really, really deep. And I'll get some of the Lid Lustres out for us to compare. Well, I'm filming this before the intro, so you've already seen that. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of playing here. This is really smoky, but I kind of like it. It's just like, this is almost like that mink, that really dark mink Lid Lustre, which I lent out a while ago and don't currently have to show you. It's gone anyway. You can't get it if you don't have it. And here you go with this Nightflash liner, which is really almost like a black, and I'm just kind of putting it on sloppily just so you kind of see the way they go together. But that's really pretty. These are dark and smoky, and they're dark and smoky really quickly, which is in keeping with the Victoria Beckham aesthetic. Okay, I'll tell you what though. This one really appeals to me the most. So a lot of people will ask me, what are you buying to review Rebecca, and what are you buying for Rebecca? If I were just buying for me, I would have purchased this one. Usually I would have bought the blue even for review, but that just becomes ridiculous. It looks terrible on me. This is the one that I would have bought for me. And so we're going to do the bigger look with this one. I'll come back in just a moment. I'm going to get all of this off and let's get ready, including with the olive pencil, okay? After trying those two, Victoria and Nightflash on, I have some distinct thoughts about them, but I'm going to hold that until after. I have our olive pencil here, and we are going to look at the olive quad, I guess we can call it. And I am going to do this all up for it. So let's go ahead and get our olive pencil there on the eyes. And this is more of the way I would actually use this. I will say, I'll do a little bit of a reveal here. On those other palettes, what I think I would do is I really wouldn't use all 4 shades. I think they get a little dark when you use all 4 shades. I was just kind of trying to show you how they layer, and I'll try to use all 4 here in the olive as well. But, okay, so that's the olive pencil. I've reviewed that. But like, for instance, on the Victoria palette here, I would probably use this one and this one. And then one of those 2 shades. I don't really think I would use all 4. And on Nightfall, I would probably use this one and one of the others. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think with all 4, I have very small eyelids though. Okay, and I say that as I'm going into this to use all 4 to show you. But I did line with olive, which is the pencil it goes with. And to me, this is a really pretty kind of brown shade here that I'm going to concentrate more towards the outside of the eye. But I am going to put it kind of all over the lid, but much more towards the outside of the eye. And this gets the benefit of having mascara and having liner. It's just going to look better all around. But all 4 of those 2 shades on my small lids anyway, it was a bit overwhelming, I think. You could get a prettier look, I believe. Okay, let's take this olive shade here. This is, again, Sonia G with a Kiyaki handle. Not sure which one. I could look if you need me to. Okay, I went into that olive shade there, and I just kind of want to really gently just put that. I'm just doing that old Charlotte Tilbury windshield wiper thing, remember? On her old quads. Oh, that'll take some of us back, huh? Okay. This is just such a pretty one. Okay. I'm just kind of going in circles and just putting it into the crease and a little bit above, since I have hooded eyes. And this is all really buttery mattes, really pretty. I think we're a little deeper there. Okay, so now here is where I would really, if this were just me, I want to try to use all 4, but like, to me, I would either use kind of this satiny shimmer or this really shimmery shade. I don't really know that my small eyelids and hooded eyelids need both. You know, if I had a makeup artist here, I'm sure they would do that well. I'm not even pretending to be a makeup artist. So yeah, I don't think personally, even if you have recommendations, personally, I would use 3 of these shades, just like I said in the others. But you know, let's do a little something. Let's go in there. It's going to be deep too. Yeah, let's just kind of do the outer part of it with this really pretty. This is nice. I like this a lot. Ooh, isn't that pretty? And then, yeah, same brush. I'm just going to kind of clean it off on my hand here. I'm actually going to go in here. This is almost like the little included lid luster. And just, yeah, that's pretty. And that packs a punch. That kind of lid lustery shade, we'll call it. We'll go over this a little bit here. Just deepen that part. Ooh, I like this. But real smoky again, real smoky again. What do you guys think? Really pretty. Okay, so my thoughts are, and obviously I don't have the blue, my thoughts are that these pair so beautifully with Satin Kajal liners. I think these are absolutely lovely. I do like the redo. Now I understand the pricing. I do not have problems with it. It's luxury makeup. It is not, honestly. I got 50 with case or 75 with case. Hasn't quite been figured out yet. We're seeing, and I think they're prettier than Tom Ford, which is 95. Not that it's okay to charge 75 or even 50, but it's not 95. That's all I'm saying. They're refillable. I think they're really pretty. Do make sure you put them in the right way, because I did botch one of those up. But anyway, I do like the little dividers, which we, again, did not have originally. I like the palettes. I mean, they're beautiful, but they're very, very deep and very smoky. I'm sure the blue is the same. I would not wear all four at once. If you have these big, beautiful, non-hooded eyelids, I'm envious of you, and then you probably could. But if you have the eyelids of a normal human, I don't think all four are necessary. You know, maybe two, even one. I don't know. They're really pretty. It's almost like you have a base, a choice of two shades, and a lid luster. That's kind of how I see it. So maybe use three or two, you know? That is my thinking anyway. But I'd love to know what you guys think. It's not just about what I say. You probably want some comparisons, right? So I'm happy to do that. I do my comparisons over on Instagram. So you can go ahead and send me you can ask me here. You can send me a DM or in comments over on Instagram. And I'm super happy to do comparison across brands or within Victoria Beckham Beauty. Happy to do it. Really happy to do it. Just let me know what you need and check below. On screen, I will put these where I can in YouTube shopping, where they're available. Everything also will be listed down below, so you can get them there as well, and all that information, plus info on how to join us on Facebook. How to join our membership here on YouTube. We have weekly lives. I would love to see you there. How to follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, all of that good stuff, because I would love to see you guys over there. But I'm just happy to have you here just as you are right now. Make sure that you're subscribed and share and like, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.